Hello, this video is about the context of actuarial work. I will explain the professional context and regulatory context. Learning outcomes: first is to explain the context related to an actuarial environment. Second is describe the areas involving actuarial knowledge. And last is to know how to apply basic actuarial knowledge. Let's start with professional context. Professionalism for the actuarial profession means the application of specialist actuarial knowledge and expertise, the demonstration of ethical behavior, especially in doing actuarial work, and the actuary's accountability to a professional actuarial association or similar professional oversight organization. Professional guidance. First, code of conduct. The professional of actuary's body will have a code of conduct. This sets out broad principles of how actuaries should behave in any area of actuarial work. A fundamental part of all code of conduct, whether explicitly stated or not, is that actuaries should only take on tasks which they are competent to perform. Whether or not there are any formal requirement for specialist qualifications or prior experience in a particular area of work, individuals must apply their own professional judgments to access whether they have necessary knowledge, skills and practical experiences. Secondly, other professional guidance. There are usually written standards of practice covering different aspects of actuarial work. These may be issued by the professional body, or a separate actuarial standards body, usually after consultation with a wider profession. The absence of a written standard does not necessarily mean that there is no agreed standard for a particular area of actuarial work. If all members clearly agree, through the formal education process and through formal and informal discussion among themselves, on how a certain task should be done, then there may be no need to have a written standard about that task. However, there are advantages of having a written standard. First, a written standard protects the client, and others who may indirectly rely on the actuary's work, by ensuring the actuary does a complete and thorough job using appropriate methods. Next, the professional body will have a solid case if it has to discipline any member for not following good practice. Third is the actuary has some protection from allegations of unsatisfactory performance, since the standard sets out a minimum standard of work. And regulators can be satisfied that actuaries will perform a task to a given standard. Regulatory context. Regulation may be imposed through a combination and supervision by statutory bodies or regulators. The International Actuarial Association has recently approved a set of practice guidelines for Social Security actuaries which provide recommendations as to how an actuary engaged on this sort of assignment should carry out the work and present their report and conclusions, IAA 2002. Under the terms of the Memorandum of Understanding between the actuarial profession and the Financial Reporting Council, dated May 17, 2006, the Board for Actuarial Standards is responsible for the setting of technical actuarial standards. The importance of supervisory. To promote high standards of actuarial practices in regard to insurance finances. New products and premium rates have to be notified to the supervisor, but formal approval is not required. The supervisor usually has the right to object or to intervene, perhaps within a specified time period, but the expectation is that this will be the exception rather than the rule. This could be done by promoting common standards for examining technical competence, for professional conduct and for disciplinary procedures. Clearly, these practices, when implemented in a particular jurisdiction, will need to conform to local laws and regulations. It was recommended to encourage the convergence of the principles of regulations where practical.